Imagine a world where sickness wasn't just blamed on germs, but actually was related to the very state of your body. Where the question is it's not just what's attacking you or what bugs are running around, but rather what breakdowns are happening in your body that are allowing for this to happen. Welcome to the very conflicting world of germ theory and terrain theory, the two competing ideas that have really shaped the foundation of our modern day medicine. In this video, we'll be looking at the origins of these two theories. We'll be looking at the lives of Louis Pasteur as well as Antoine Bechamp, their ideas, and then how this rivalry really set the stage for medical debate that continues to today. My name is Dr. Erica Steele. If you're new to my channel, I'm a board-certified naturopathic doctor. I hold 7 degrees in my field, much of which are in the natural healthcare space. I've been in natural healthcare for over 20 years. I like to say I went to school so you don't have to. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. We do have a holistic community available. You can go ahead and click the link below if you are interested in learning more about how holistic medicine can help you. And on my channel, I really break down a lot of different components from the science and the history, really so that you can understand and make better healthcare choices because you're informed, right? Informed consent is incredibly important in this day and age. So let's first start off before the germ theory. This is medicine in the 19th century. This is where medicine was really dominated by two main ideas, the miasma theory and the humoral theory. So if you're not familiar with these two theories, the miasma theory believed that diseases were caused in essence by bad air or vapors, where the humoral medicine was this ancient concept that really focused on balancing your fluids like your blood, your lymph, and your bile. It was a time when sanitation was really just beginning to be understood, and public health was really just more so revolving around avoiding bad smells, if you can even think about that. So in walks Louis Pasteur. So Louis Pasteur is considered the father of germ theory. He linked the microorganisms to disease and really changed medicine forever. Pasteur's work with fermentation proved that microorganisms, not air, cause spoilage, and his famous swan neck flask experiment showed that sterilized liquids remained free of microbes unless they were exposed to the environment. These practices are still widely used in surgery today, and even pretty much, I've seen it even in various different beauty care. Sterilization is incredibly important so that we don't pass around all of these bugs. Now let's get to Koch's pustules. Now I know Koch is a different person, but very much related because he built on Pasteur's work. He really began to identify the causative agent of disease. In fact, the first thing he discovered was anthrax, a particular bacteria, I believe, that created it. So these two gentlemen really worked to discover the microorganisms and their connection to development of disease process. They really became the basis of conventional medicine as we know it today. Now let's look at Antoine Bechamp. He was a little bit different. He was a French biologist who challenged Pasteur, and he argued that it was really more so the body's internal environment or the terrain of the environment that determines health. Bechamp believed that there were tiny particles called microzymes that existed in all living things and could transform into harmful microbes under unhealthy conditions. He argued that germs were merely nothing more than opportunistic, and they could only thrive in a diseased environment. So really the focus should be on strengthening the body, strengthening terrain, and less about fighting the germs. So this is why germ theory prevailed. Now, I will tell you that Antoine Bechamp's work is widely popularized and used in homeopathy, in holistic medicine. Pretty much all of your natural health care is going to be based off of Bechamp because our internal environment. And even still, Dr. Bruce Lipton, who's a geneticist, and he just blew the doors on epigenetics, again, understanding that it was the environment that really determined the health of the genes, not specifically the genes themselves. So this idea of the environment really leading the cause has been more aloof and more in this holistic vein and less in the conventional practice. So that's why these two theories are competing, and this is why we're always kind of at odds with each other, because one wants to focus on the bugs, little less on prevention, where we really want to focus on prevention, teaching our patients the complexities of the body, what to do with the body, and then in turn, work on strengthening these terrains so that they are not going to be susceptible to these opportunistic germs. So let's get into why the germ theory prevailed. So first off, the germ theory is very simple. It was easy to study and test. It provided very clear, measurable evidence that specific germs cause specific diseases. But it also fit into very neatly into this growing scientific method of the time, where experiments could be isolated into variables and then can draw direct conclusions. It's important to note that human studies are not as simple as you may think. There's lots of different variables, and it can be very challenging to isolate out variables, which is why twin studies are so popular. Also, too, the germ theory got a lot of support from government and industry because the government industry was really looking for more actionable items. And so government and industry quickly embraced the germ theory because it led to these actionable interventions like vaccines, as well as sterilization and antibiotics. So like polio, for instance, when the polio outbreak happened, right, they were able to isolate out polio and then later on begin to determine a vaccination for it. Also during that time, sanitation practices went up, and so that also contributed to the eradication of polio. The germ theory also, though, aligned with pharmaceutical companies that could profit off of these treatments. So Rockefeller at the time had started Rockefeller Philanthropies, had sent out Flexner Report, and also had made huge investments in petroleum, or he was in the petroleum business, but made huge investments to be able to bring petroleum into healthcare, combining synthetic products with petroleum to patent them and create pharmaceuticals. So having these very clean, neat, actionable, evidence-based, this causes a disease, this treats the disease, made it very appealing for them to be able to market, simplistic, and also convince legislators that this was the way to go. Germ theory's application did lead to a lot of groundbreaking successes, such as vaccinations and additional sanitation practices, but it really wasn't the be all end all. It also revolutionized surgery that we talked about. Sterilization practices drastically reduced infection rates in operating rooms, but it's important to know that opportunistic infections and bacteria are still a problem in hospitals with MRSA and various things like that. There is less emphasis on Antoine Bechamp's work about the internal terrain and the environment. And oftentimes, holistic providers really struggle because teaching people about how the body works is complex. And a lot of times, people will have symptoms that they want a quick fix for. Unfortunately, quick fix solutions don't always work, and you're always chasing after different things. I've admired pathologists over my career, and I love what they do. However, chasing around all of the bugs to me just did not seem like an effective use of my time. Instead, teaching patients how to heal, learning how to heal the body, following therapeutic order, strengthening the body, strengthening terrain, all of these things have really helped to build the body's immune system to be able to fight against various microbes that it may be coming in contact with. And while germ theory really revolutionized medicine by showing that specific microbes cause specific diseases, it really is proving not to help us in the fight against chronic disease. Chronic disease rates are at an all-time high that are based off of and caused by modifiable lifestyle factors. What are modifiable lifestyle factors? These are our habits and things that strengthen the terrain or strengthen the body's internal environment. So after all, Bechamp was onto something and did know a lot. And so understanding this history really sets the stage for deeper conversations about both strengths and weaknesses and modern applications of both of these theories. These theories. We really want to look at these theories both from a critical lens and then see what we can glean from them, especially to help us against the fight for chronic disease, which globally is the leading cause of health issues within our world. In our next video, we'll explore germ theory's incredible impact on public health. But again, we're going to also get into these unintended challenges that created as well. If you want to learn more about holistic medicine and how you can have actionable items, I am hosting a holistic living webinar. This webinar goes into great detail about what you can do practically every single day for you to improve your health. Because after all, every single day we're either building health or building disease. Just really depends on your healthcare choices every single day. If you found this video enlightening, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for the next installment of series, and let me know in the comments, do you think health is more about fighting germs or strengthening your terrain?